Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to the Epicenter EU qualifiers. Taking a look at game number 2 here. It is Vega Squadron facing off against Navi. Lyrical joined as Bill by Capitalist, and we saw some shenanigans last game as, well, General just won the whole damn thing with one black hole. Clicked R, and then he clicked the ground. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's having such a hard time. He's like, man, I don't know how the hell to deal with this goddamn silencer. It's a core silencer, and he's sitting way off in the back, and he was having a hard time actually getting black holes ever. But you only need one. You only need one, especially if the enemy doesn't have buyback. So sick. I really thought that game was actually going to play out into like the late game when we'd see like 50, 60 minutes how those lineups really match up against each other. You know, silencer and animage core versus an alchemist that can give away ags to all of his allies. But apparently not. Navi are just able to close out the game nice and clean. So Vega Squadron, hopefully, again, they're not tilted or anything, and they go into game 2 with I would even be okay with a similar plan, because I did feel like I was kind of pleasantly surprised that their lineup stood up so well against Navi. I thought Navi actually had the outdraft, but Vega Squadron, I think, kind of proved me wrong.
And I think that it's also like a lot of their choices throughout the game, it felt like they were making the right ones. And you know, you say right there as well, you know, that it was just sort of very abrupt the way that the game suddenly ended. And maybe Vega were in their same headspace where they're like, this game is going to go super late, so we don't need to worry about having buyback. But then obviously that ended up not being the case. A very interesting and different opening this time, though. It's going to be a Magnus Ogre Magi. Now, we did have a period of time where Dendy was playing Mag. It's mainly moved over to the offlane since then. Is there any chance at all that this ends up being a Dendy Magnus, or do you think that this is just going to be a reserve to General?
Less likely with the Legion Commander being banned away. I think the only time you can really run mid Magnus is if you have an offlaner that really takes advantage of the Empower and kind of acts as a semi-carry for you in case the Magnus can't. So I think very likely we're going to see Magnus offlane, and we're going to see a different kind of mid here. Usually... No, I'm trying to think of melee heroes that really take advantage from a mid position. Ursa already got banned away. Maybe we'll just see like a lifestealer or something for Navi, and they'll run kind of a stereotypical earlier 7.0 draft.
They could do like Troll Warlord or something too, is sometimes an option.
Oh yeah, that's a good mid. Yeah, you're right. Troll's a great mid that takes advantage of Magnus.
Okay. Is it hard to run Troll into Axe though? I feel like that's always something that can be a little bit testy.
I think it's okay. Just because the Troll has so much armor, that's his big advantage. So he's gonna get lifesteal. He'll have the armor, and that's how you can deal with the blade mail. It's like you feel good. You're walking around with this blade mail and stuff, and you think like, oh, I'm really gonna show this, this carry what it's all about. But when you find out like he has a lot of armor himself and he has a lot of lifesteal, he actually mitigates the damage that is dealt back to him from the blade mail pretty well.
Okay. Well, I like that. And I guess then that maybe they do end up going for that. They certainly don't have to, though. There's a lot of other things. I've even seen like, Lena's occasionally empowered too. But Phoenix is going to be the pick, so both supports taken now, I'm pretty sure. Phoenix has kind of had a resurgence, tends to be with Medusa, though, and that's a hero that can use Empower as well.
10 seconds.
Yeah, it's one of the few ranged heroes that's actually acceptable to have Magnus. And Medusa is also, like, you want damage amplifiers, and you not only have the Magnus, you also have the Ogre Bloodlust. So this could be just as easily be a safe lane Troll and a Medusa mid. I would highly advise Vega Squadron to ban that one away, because I think their Navi's lineup would look so good, like synergy wise. You'd have the Phoenix Ball, you would have the Medusa ultimate, and then you'd have all of these three different damage amplifiers, all for the Medusa to take advantage during that stone case. You'd have a better attack speed with Bloodlust, then you'd get even more increased with Troll ulti, and then the Magnus Empower. So if Vega Squadron don't ban away the Medusa, I would actually just straight up call Navi an outdraft and a win for game 2.
Damn, don't even need to see the other heroes to know it. And I kind of agree with you. It's like they get everything that they want, and they will have the last pick as well. It looks like Storm Spirit is going to be the choice for Vega Squadron, not wanting to give that one away just in case, you know, since they have first pick there, it could have gotten banned. But now looking for their safe lane hero, there's not a lot that really deals well with all of this. I mean, do you just try and focus on like a really hard lane where Magnus can't get a lot and is forced back to the jungle?
Dire team back.
I don't know. They've got kind of crappy supports. Like the Disruptor by himself is not very good at dealing with Magnus. Like you've got some okay kill potential, I guess, with like he can't skewer back as easily against Glimpse, but just for harassment-wise, the Disruptor with just Thunderstrike isn't going to be that good at zoning out the Magnus. You probably need more of a self-sufficient safe laner. You know, if the Deuce ends up being picked up by Navi, then, you know, preemptively you'd like to see the Animage for Vega Squadron. More likely you'll see something like Lifestealer. Let's see, Ursa, Slark, those are all banned away. What are some of the other, like, really good self-sufficient? Wraith King.
5 seconds remaining.
You get into like pretty crappy hero territory when you get down to that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Reserve time.
I don't know. Better with the long cooldown ultis, a Wraith King, but yeah, it's tough. I feel like Lifestealer is the pick here, though. Like with the Infest Bomb, there's something there, but it's still not great.
You don't really like running Lifestealer against Troll, though. It just kind of sucks. You've got this, like, you can't depend on Rage. You have both Magnus RP as well as Troll ulti. Maybe Sven. Let's see, there's Phantom Lancer and PA, but don't really like either one of those heroes either. I don't know, like even before I see the mid, I don't feel good about Vega Squadron's lineup.
Yeah.
What's a faster hero? Weaver? Ooh. Weaver's still up there.
Okay.
It would help against the Phoenix Egg. You would have a range show that's like all these melee heroes have a hard time with dealing with Troll and Magnus, so range hero is probably preferable in that regard. Clinks is kind of okay as well. He's a little bit fast. He's just unreliable in how good he does at 15 minutes. Like sometimes you have Clinkses that are just hunted down and they don't do anything, and sometimes Clinkses are the ones hunting people down. They're sitting in your jungle and they're taking away your camps while popping out and killing a hero or two. So
yeah,
one
nice
of those
call.
two. Okay.
Navi's
it's what they needed. There is still like we talked about the Medusa as the last pick for Navi. There's always the chance that it could be like the Troll mid again, and then they take a safe lane hero here, or rather,
it could be a Puck mid as well. Puck is really good lockdown versus both Storm Spirit and Weaver because of the instant silence. And then the Coil is better versus. Whoa! All right. It is a mid Magnus.
Hey, wow. There we go. It's back again. Interesting.
So, I think the Dusa lost a lot of its favorability when it was versus both Storm Spirit and Weaver, just because those are two very mobile heroes that it can ignore the Medusa and go for the back line. That's usually the preferable way of dealing with Dusa past like 25 minutes, is just going around her essentially. So I was kind of down with a different hero, a more aggressive hero, and I thought it would be a mid Dendy Puck. To try and beat the Storm Spirit in the matchup and then set tempo control. And it's still a good hero to combo with the Phoenix, but instead they get the harder lockdown of Bat Rider, which kind of, I guess, better ensures these kills against Storm Spirit and Weaver if he has a good game. But we'll see. It's really hard for Bat Rider to get farm against a Weaver matchup. Like, that is very favorable to Vega Squadron.
Yeah. And not to mention the Treant Protector, it's going to allow him to dive even further than he might have been able to before. We do have this Ogre here who's going to help out a lot in most likely the safe lane, but you could also see him after the first couple of levels, maybe even he goes up there and tries to secure the Batrider's lane. We don't really know what they're going to end up going for it with, but I like it. I think the other thing that this allows for is just like playstyle wise, General is going to be the one to go in there and find that initial jump, and then the Dendi Magnus can kind of wait to see how the situation develops and then go in for the big RP. So that's always nice when you have like two forms of initiation with those big ultis. But here we go into the game. Game number 2, Vega Squadron back up against the wall as they are on the verge of elimination from the Epicenter CIS and EU qualifiers. Early movements out. Does look like these smokes are going to be broken. They're just going to not be able to place down any of those wards. And Sioma likewise. Does he just chill here this whole time? Is he going to go try and... No, he wants to get the invis off. And Pycat is going to know he's here because the smoke just broke.
Getting those aggressive wards are so important in this patch. It's something about sometimes it's because supports utilize the Crystal Main, for example, is able to utilize the jungle. So you want to see like, is he full-time jungling to start? Where is he rotating after he gets his level 3? That sort of thing. But other times it's because you have these 4 positions: Tree and Protector, Earth Spirit, Riki,
30 seconds to battle.
Monkey King. Like, you have those kind of heroes that are kind of roaming around and being super disruptive to start. In this case, it'd be Ogre Magi for Navi. So you have these kind of 4 positions that kind of roam around, and getting this aggressive vision really does help expose the weaknesses in the laning phase with these 4 positions move out. So they are also able to get an early read on what the laning phase situation is. They want to be able to, on the Vega Squadron side of things, keep the Weaver matched up against the Batrider, and then have the Axe, I guess, versus the Troll. You just don't want the Axe in a 1v1 against the Batrider. That's like the worst thing that could happen to you.
Yeah. Well, and good movement already to try and, you know, spice things up a little bit with the lanes. And now Disruptor Silent is going to go in there as they want to try and maybe help out and give Dendi a little bit harder of a time, as Dendi will be going for the creep wave manipulation, pulling it back in. G can just keep on spamming out these remnants, and Silent in the meantime, he's actually able to pull most of this creep wave all the way in under the tower. So decent start already, but gonna take some damage, and Snako finally gonna come in to try and give this Magnus a little bit of an easier time, as it's gonna just punch people a few moments.
It was basically a tri-lane mid for Vega, with the Train Protector kind of hanging out there, but Snako does a really good job. Sentry catches the ward, sees the tree, forces him out of lane, and then if it's just Disruptor versus an Ogre, it's not even like comparable, you know. Like, Snako is easily gonna outdo the harassment more and be a bigger threat in this dual lane than the Disruptor can be. So that will kind of help ease the matchup versus range matchup that Dendi's having to deal with. He's having a strong support help him out.
Yeah. You also saw the empowered Ogre who actually goes and used Dendi's Shrine this early on. Interesting.
Dendi, Snako really needed that regen, so I don't blame him for wanting to use the Shrine. I think Dendi made the call that he didn't want to leave the CS that he was going to get during that time. So
got it. Afterlife got brought down to just 2 right clicks away from death, but Pycad not willing to dive fully for that one. But Afterlife, he'll have his full salve up, so now back up to full HP. Thought it was going to be a first blood, doesn't end up happening, and now Shrine used as well by Vega Squadron. And it looks like they're also going to be able to save the regen rune for the Mag as well. Good stuff. And Silent's going to leave this lane.
Only slightly.
Yeah, I think you can't... I'm not even sure if he needed to stop the Ogre from just zoning out the Storm Spirit, I guess, but you can't sit in that lane for very long. Storm Spirit really needs his levels. He needs to get to like level 4 or 5, and then he can jungle to get level 6. Bottle for passed over to Snako, so he picks up the regen, so he can have even more ignites to throw at G.
Oh my god. What the hell? And yeah, you can just like run at him too. That is so annoying. Jeez. And well, Tree's gonna come down here and see if they can make something happen against General. They're not quite in range to get the bash coming out from Sioma's reveal, and Also going to hit a flame break as well, dealing some more damage onto the real you. He is taking some of this DPS, but 15 wand charges means he's unlikely to die. It's Seneko mid.
They did a good job forcing out the Firefly. Again, it's a bad matchup for General, so there's not much that you can do. Man, forcing the Storm Spirit to jungle at level 3. This is going to slow down his farm like quite a lot.
Seneko in the meantime was just like BMing Silent, continuing to just walk back and forth in front of him, and Silent can't even find the kill necessarily. Now breaking the clarity as well. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Early laning stage certainly into the favor of Navi. Looking at this for Vega after the way that last game ended too, how do you feel like they're feeling? Do you need to try and switch things up at this point, or is there even a way to really switch it up?
I don't think there is too many ways to switch it up for either side. Like, they're getting the better of the bottom engagement, right? They might even kill General here.
This would be good, a first blood, but they're just going to be able to walk away again. And now the TP coming in from Seneko, he can help secure that lane, and well, Dendi, with nobody in his lane, probably is going to be able to CS pretty well, I would imagine. And Haster in there as well. My God.
Figured the Ogre won't be able to sit in mid forever, so G will get some recovery farm no matter what. He'll get some out of the mid lane, some out of the jungle. They're winning the bottom lane, and Axe at top lane, like, he's going to have probably the hardest time of all. But it is still going to be one of those situations. He'll get something, right? So I think they just have to, as Vega Squadron, just kind of accept the fact that the laning phase isn't going to go the greatest for them. Maybe they can kill General, which it looks like this time it definitely is a kill.
Tried to do some extra DPS there onto the real you and was able to bring him fairly low, but yeah, with Seneko gone, unlikely to make a whole heck of a lot happen. And now Seneko should be able to get this pull off here, so stacking up a little bit for his Magnus as well. I want to see what Dendi goes for in this game. We haven't seen a lot of mid Magnuses all that often. Is there anything that really speaks to you at all, or maybe just like Blink Dagger, or does he go back for the Echo Saber build that we saw for a while?
Yeah, it looks like he's going Echo Saber. He already has it queued up for his quick buy. I figure if you're running mid Magnus, you do have to be, especially since he has a Bat Rider for an off lane. So you don't have a semi-carry there. He does need to be somewhat of a right-clicker, and he's got Troll for it, too. So Magnus can actually, if you get the right amount of farm, do a lot. Seneko's going to be caught in bottom lane. This should be another easy kill for Vega Squadron.
Yeah. I mean, easy is always a relative term when it's an ogre, but they do eventually bring him down. Big fat waddling guy going to drop. And G back again into the jungle. It seems like this is kind of where he's living right now.
Afterlife's dead. He got dove, and that was just going to happen eventually. Sealman Slayer is going to be able to pick up any of the experience, and yeah, honestly, it's like, you know, the Bat Rider's going to die eventually. In his lane, Axe is eventually going to die as well. Even though they are in their quote-unquote safe lanes, it is far from safe, those matchups.
Look at Dendi. He's coming up right now with this Haster and Pycat getting dove, but is Dendi going to be able to be there to save his buddy? Walking in, the skewer back, going to be able to catch. Does have the shockwave as well, connects onto two of them, and Afterlife going to be brought down. Dendi still looking to chase this, has the RP available, gets up, drop it, it just turns and eviscerates them. Double for Dendi. A little bit of lucky Haster.
Yeah, for sure. Afterlife, it was fine his first death. It was acceptable. Like, I think as an offlaner, you just expect that you're going to die if you have bad matchups. But him getting, like, it was a good opportunity to get aggressive on the troll, but doing it while the Magnus was off map, and unfortunately had a Haster like that is it's not the best idea in the world. And now they're going to be able to kill General again. 3-3. It's just the offlaners dying over and over again.
I guess the thing, though, is you look at the CS, and it's not a huge lead as much as people would have expected it, given those numbers up there. But the farm is on a lot of really key heroes here. And Weaver down at 39-9. He's still been a part of those kills, so he's staying fairly well farmed up. Next couple of minutes, it's still just going to be that farm fest, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think both the offlaners, like, they need their Blink Dagger items, right? So they're going to be kind of farming Storm Spirit. Afterlife looks like he's dead again. It's just never ending, man. These offlaners, it doesn't stop.
Running, Storm Spirit actually shows up, wants to try and bring down Pycat, using a lot of mana for this one, but Pycat is going to be taking the max DPS, and Unfortunately, no points up in that pole means he is not going to find that kill. And G even misses uphill on him, but, well, the Ryu takes down Snako in the meantime. They're going to find another kill here. And for some reason, Navi's still wanting to go back in on this. G, unfortunately, has used up the majority of his mana. They turn now onto Silent, trying to bring him down instead. Sioma is here as well. Can they find anything else? They're diving super deep, and Pycat in some trouble. Is just going to end up feeding his life away. Magnus is here. He wants to get aggro with the Invis rune, but who are you really trying to go on? Silent getting healed again. Well, maybe they're just going to die for this.
General's just going to die, isn't he? He's not even going to get Silent. Okay, he does. Never mind.
It looked close. That did not look good for a little while, but I guess when you bring 3, it's pretty nice to pick up that kill.
Yeah, I thought the real you, Aloha Dance, was gonna TP in at some point in time, but he actually didn't pick up a TP after he killed that tower. So he's just aggressively pushing into the tier 2, and that's, again, it's fine. It's nice to have a TP, but Weaver wants to just kind of like AFK until he gets Lincolns plus. I'm trying to think if this is a Deso or a Diffusal team. I'm not sure which one it is for Weaver. Ooh. He'll finally have that TP now. Show up at the top lane for a kill.
Well, that was really close. He was holding on to that Icarus dive for a while, but ends up still being brought down there. So Phoenix dead again. Leading right now is Vega Squadron with all of these movements around the map, and I feel like it's been a nice little recovery for them. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Not that it was ever completely out of their range at all.
Honestly, it's just the Pycat and them just kind of like suicided into that top lane. I guess he felt like the Storm Spirit was low enough mana that they could turn like that, but they just end up losing a kill at bottom and 2 kills at top lane at the same time. That's kind of what like sets Vega Squadron ahead in this whole entire laning phase. I think without that, they could have actually been behind.
Well, mid lane, they drop the Static Storm. Dendy is still there. Skewer back, trying to survive. The RP is there as well. He is going to end up falling, but, well, able to switch over the aggro. G lives through it. Man, oh man, that was close. That was really close.
Yeah, well played by Dendy. And to be honest, like, this is a situation you don't want to be in the first place. Silent, as a disruptor, has level 6 before he has to use taunt. You know, it's that shouldn't really happen. But again, it comes back to that top lane engagement. Silent was a part of the experience of a lot of those kills, so he was able to get his... He's not much of a fighting hero before that until he has his Static Storm. So Dendy probably just wasn't expecting a rotation that early from the disruptor to get a very key kill.
Yeah. Well, last couple of minutes have looked quite good for Vega. Still about 1,000 gold away from the Blink Dagger's Afterlife. Meanwhile, the Bat Rider has been able to farm a little bit more of the gold there. And there is still also the whole business of Dendy trying to finish off this Echo Saber and soon to be able to work towards the Blink Dagger himself. But tower-wise, still a little bit of a lead right now for Vega Squadron. Pycat trying to weaken up the top one. It's still kind of tough, though, because Tree at level 5's got 3 points in the living armor and just keep healing it.
Yeah, I've been... I kind of practiced a little bit of this build, the Treant Protector going for 1-1-3, and it does... it really limits your laning phase focus and how powerful you can be with Nature's Guise, but it does allow you to keep all of your outer towers alive for like at least 10 to 15 minutes. And that's where Vega Squadron's lead comes in, right? Is being able to take the opposing safe lane tower, but not losing any towers themselves, thanks to living armor. And they may never with the right Blink Dagger timing. Nice ulti from Silent.
Nice turnaround as well. Silent's still gonna live through it. Seneko is gonna even end up falling. They baited it out. A good play right there.
I think Navi just need to take more of a backseat in this game until they have their Blink Daggers. I don't think it was the wrong idea to try and get aggressive and take a tower yourself, but against the living armor, it's just proving to be a bit futile, and so I think they just got to sit back until they get Blink Dagger on both Magnus as well as the Bat Rider before they're really actively searching for engagements. At that point in time, they do need to be super aggressive because Storm Spirit and Weaver are going to take over the game probably around 30-35 minutes, so They need to hit a strong 20-minute timing and take these outer objectives.
Okay. and like fully commit for him as well. You can't really leave any of these towers any bit alive, otherwise Tree will obviously pull it back up to full, and maybe revealing a couple of problems with the Navi draft right now. They just don't have strong lockdown for these two heroes, the Storm Spirit and the Weaver, barring ultimates, and even that's a little bit testy. So well, the real you Aloha Dance is going to be able to force everybody back a little bit further. But still, Navi need to wait for those blinks to be up before they can make any concerted action.
Yeah, I think people would look at this this build from Dendy and say, like, hey, you don't have this lockdown. Your team's kind of losing this early game. Why didn't you go Blink Dagger first? But the problem is when you go this mid Magnus, you really fall off if you go Blink Dagger first. Echo Saber is what allows you to be able to kind of keep up your farm. It's mana regen. It allows you to be able to clear through not just laning phase, but also it clears through neutrals really quickly with the maxed out empower. So this is kind of what keeps him being a semi-carry in the first place, is going the Echo Saber first. So he can't afford to go Blink Dagger.
Oh no, and another Static Storm laid down, and Dendy is gonna drop. Wanted to show in lanes that way Weaver would feel safe up top here, and they might still be able to find this kill on the Weaver, but it's been 3 heroes hanging out this entire time. Aloha Dance realizes what's up, and they're not gonna get a kill with this Blink Dagger reveal.
Yeah, they're, I mean, with the living armor, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to take this tower either. The rotations should come out from Vega Squadron to save this. I mean, they can even this Blink Dagger timing from Afterlife. They could even go defend top lane and turn this into a push onto the offlane tower.
All right, Firefly is there. They pull back onto one. The glimpse to pull him away. That takes it off, and the time lapse comes. Now the kinetic field lay down. The Static Storm has already been used, obviously, but one gonna be brought down. Pycat is dead to the tower shot. In the meantime, the Supernova is going to complete. And the Axe is dead, but maybe they can find a little bit more here. They don't have Overgrowth to jump in. They take down Seneko. Real you taking some damage. The bash comes in, gonna keep that Weaver alive. And now the right click's coming through onto General. They're trying to find this kill. He is gonna get the living armor, though, saving the day for the Weaver. And now General getting ran down with that Thunder Strike. It will be the death of General. My God.
Yeah, big win there. Again, it comes down to the Blink Dagger of the Axe that really turns that fight. I mean, the Glimpse is a really good save on the Weaver, obviously, but getting the 2-man call from the Axe is really what allowed them to be able to take advantage. Now, they could go for a push onto the offlane tower, and even if Navi show up in force to defend it, they're still going to be able to get some chip damage done, something that Navi, as we talked about earlier, can't really do. They've been doing a lot of chip damage to a lot of towers, and it's all been healed up by living armor.
It's nuts. And, you know, this bottom lane is pushing in as well. They're able to do some to the tier 2 that's there. All of this movement around the map, like even mid right now, it's going to be pushed in by the creep wave as well. So they want to come and defend, but no matter where they go, they're taking a trade somewhere. And God, the plus side, Magnus just now is finishing off the Blink Dagger, so they can start to take these fights a little bit more effectively.
They're going to need that RP too, because they can no longer rely on the lasso initiation against the Weaver. He's got his Lincolns coming in right now, so that is really good timing. 16 minutes Lincolns with a Ring of Aquila behind it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Because what you want to do as a Bat Rider is you want to get your Blink Dagger before he has Lincolns, kill him a couple times, and then you want to get Force Staff as he gets Lincolns, so you still have a way to be able to catch him out. You know, you blink in, you force the Lincolns, and then you lasso him. But he's not going to have that for some timing.
Good scan here. They're baiting out Seneko. They want to try and take this fight in the best possible situation. They're going to jump in there. General is there as well. They're all grouped up, but they're going to end up spreading out at least a little bit. Supernova now as well. They have the Static Storm. They're looking for the opening, but it's just not there. They don't have anything at all. They do kill off Afterlife. A nice pickup there, and they also are going to be able to try and run down. Nope, that's it. Wow. I mean, they still end up killing the Axe, which is huge, but it felt like it could have been bigger.
Yeah, that they just didn't quite get the real good holds on any of those heroes just because they couldn't get a position for an RP on the side of Navi. I actually thought Vega Squadron was going to turn it just because they had regen on G. He had a regen in his bottle, so I thought maybe they were going to turn around and force the fight. But I think they're ahead. There's no reason for you to get into engagements that are unnecessary. Like right now, just leave silent. Like let him die. It's whatever. They kill the support. Like nothing about killing a support is ever going to win the game for Navi.
Yeah.
Right now, you're getting the better of the split pushing right now with G pushing out bottom lane, and you can also push out mid lane if he wants to. So they're getting the better of that. It's okay to concede some of these outer towers and concede some of these kills on like supports and stuff if it means you stay away from the really dangerous RP play. You know, that's how Navi gets back into this game, by like getting a reverse polarity on 2 heroes.
Okay, and I guess also that for Vega Squadron, is there ever really a point where you want to try and take a fight, or is that just going to be sort of the state of the game the entire time, is dip and dodge and sort of play that rat style of Dota?
I think it's mostly rat. Obviously, there are going to be some opportunities that present to themselves with the disruptor. Like right now, he caught a troll. Ooh. They're trying to TP in, but no, they should not fight this. A static storm on a troll doesn't mean anything, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like that guy cares.
Well, it's 5 heroes still in mid, and I think maybe with this like Bloodstone, if you're G, you're thinking, all right, let's get a couple quick fights. You're thinking, let's get back into the game, which is probably pretty important as well. Hopefully he comes back soon. But yeah, 7-15 so far. You take a look at the net worth, it was into the favor of Vega, tilting back towards Navi's favor a little bit more just by efficient farming. And that's something too, is that it's not as if like Magnus and Troll are going to sort of fall off here since you gotten power on these guys.
Yeah, I think the bigger danger is that they're not necessarily going to fall off, but Storm Spirit and Weaver are going to get a lot stronger. That's why I think that Vega Squadron should kind of play that sort of hit and run style with their heroes for the next 10 minutes, is because they want to get their next round of timings. You know, you want to get like Desolator on the Weaver. You want our Storm Spirit to be able to have a Lincoln at bare minimum before you take like big team fights as well. You know, these heroes get a lot stronger at like 30-35 minutes, so there's no sense in forcing fights now against Navi when Navi's hit a really big peak. Like Troll is super strong at this point in time. Like he's got his movement speed items and he's got enough stats that you'll never really burst him down super quick. They've got the Echo Saber Blink Dagger for the Magnus. That's kind of all he needs for the early game, and then the rest of it is just kind of like, it's just the right kind of initiation. You know, if Bat Rider gets a Storm Spirit, then Phoenix gets, dives in and pops his Supernova. The fight's kind of over from there. Like, it's a guaranteed loss for Vega, so they just got to be careful with engaging Navi at any point.
Smoked up in the back. They also have brought in General to this one. This was not a scouted smoke, but they should realize that something could be afoot. And it looks like they're just going to end up bringing back the Troll. So again, like the little chip damage dealt, but they might even end up finding the Troll in the back. No, okay. The Bloodlust movement speed is going to keep him out, but the tower is still going to stand. Navi looking for that opening. There's the jump forward. This could be bad. They're trying to bait our initiation to come from that Magnus, and oh, the Thunder Strike. It's going to cancel the Blink Dagger. Now they can't actually take this fight at all. There's no way to get the initiation. General is there on to Disruptor, but is it really going to be enough? He's staying alive now as they get that root down. Silent will fall. Real U, controlled again by Pycat. They're still hanging on right now to that blink from Dendi.
That was it started off looking really awkward. 3 heroes jumping on an ogre, but they recovered it really nicely. As you pointed out, but him getting the Thunderstrike on the Magnus is so important. As soon as he gets that, you could see Vega Squadron actually turn on a dime and actually go for that kill, because they're no longer afraid of the Blink RP. So it cost Silent his life, but it was well worth it. So I think, yeah, I mean, they successfully defended their mid tower. They kind of kept alive for a while. I was surprised that they were willing to kind of take that engagement. They may even have a Desolator before Navi tries to push again.
That's crazy. And, I mean, it's also a trade of kills, which is just inherently going to be better for Storm Spirit. And now taking down these Ancients, you've got him working towards the Orchid. As far as ways to deal with this eventually, it's kind of sparse. Like, you don't want to... it's going to be BKB for Mag. I like that. But still going to run into the issue of Thunderstrike being a problem. And Troll probably also going to build back to the BKB. So it seems like they really want to hit this timing. Would you be at all worried if Navi don't start to sort of, bang down the towers really soon here? Or do you think that it's kind of going to be okay regardless?
Yeah, I would be actually kind of worried. Jump forward by Storm. I would be kind of worried. But Navi, it's not like the end of the game if they don't get any of these outer objectives. It just sucks. It just kind of sucks to play against because you're giving Storm like these outer TP points, and he's able to control a lot of the map because of that. So that's why you like to take these outer objectives against Weaver and Storm Spirit, to limit those outer TP points as much as possible. But they can still go late game with a troll. He's like one of the ultimate carries late game.
Double damage.
But I do feel like their timing is best suited when they have their double BKBs and just try and
they've caught one. Seneko, he's going to end up going down, but General, he pulls back in for the moment the axe, so no call is going to be there. Popping the blade mail, trying to keep them back again. There's going to be another jump, though, and Afterlife is actually just dead now, but can they take any more off the back of this? Fiverr, a big RP is there, but the skewer away. It's going to be enough. The power, no, G is able to get out. Oh, the root saves the day. Sioma, the playmaker, and the Slayer, as they are going to be able to pull back one. Pycat controlled for the moment by G. They've taken down the Magnus as well, and soon to be Pycat as well, maybe not. Okay, triple kill for the real U. Now it's going to be Ivor trying to save his carry's life, but might end up paying for it as well, because as you mentioned, that Deso is there. Ivor in some trouble, still trying to do it. The bash comes out. Snake also able to turn this one, and now suddenly the bash is coming out the real U. He's so freaking low, 19 HP, but he's not going to end up dropping the glimpse. They're just kiting him away. Ivor is still going to do enough damage here to kill off Silent. So the end result is, I believe, a couple of buybacks. I could be wrong. They're trying to go back in again for this. Do they really want to take this fight?
They don't want to give up Aegis to Troll, but oh god, she gets bashed!
Oh, the jump forward, Afterlife gets it, triple kill right now. Roach trying to get it on the action, but Afterlife is there. They find enough to find the kill, buyback from him now. General is gonna drop to the right clicks to the real U. Seneko also in trouble. They almost bring him down. Afterlife dies again. The triple kill from the Ryu. And now
Pycat's just gonna throw. If he dies here, this is over.
Oh my god, Pycat trying to run, needs to get out. G is on top of him. Do they have enough damage? They need to pull him back in. It's still on cooldown, 10 seconds. Dendy skewers to save the life of his carry, and might end up dying because of it as well. He turns, there is going to be the kill. Godlike beyond it. And now Roche into their hands.
Oh boy, Navi invested so much. Back-to-back team fights plus a buyback on the Troll just to make sure they secured the Aegis, and they don't even get it. G's going to be able to get the... I mean, it's an Aegis on Stormseer. This is why he was willing to buy back for it, right? Is that it's such a huge upgrade. And Navi have already missed some of their timings. You know, like they couldn't take the outer mid tower before Desolator was up on the Weaver. They didn't get their Blink Dagger before the Lincoln Sun Weaver. Like, they were just missing timings constantly. And now the fact that they're going to miss the very first Roshan for a Troll lineup, like, Troll lineups are like Ursa lineups. They depend on being able to get the Aegis, and even worse, get on a G Storm Spirit, who's about to maybe kill General. Yeah, there goes the Entangle from Sioma to stop the TP.
Really well played. Yeah, and it's just... I mean, there's nice parts about it. You can say it's like G lost some Bloodstone charges, but he's back up to 13 again. Doesn't end up mattering. And God, Dendy now, where do you go from here? He's still getting relatively close to the BKB, but they just feel so confident. With Deso and the Diffusal Blade done for Weaver, I mean, what the hell do you do?
I think you still have this really big team fight combination with the RP and the Supernova. Unfortunately, you're just gonna have to play a lot of 5-man. You're gonna have to move around the map as like 4 or 5 constantly, push out these waves, and hope that Vega Squadron make some sort of positioning error. Vega Squadron, on the other hand, they have a lot more freedom to kind of do whatever they want. They can break apart quite a bit with their Storm Spirit and Weaver, and just play a split push game until they eventually find an opening. Especially on the Weaver, because he has that Lincoln's. Such a reliable escape against a Bat Rider who still does not have his force map, so still no way to break the Lincolns to open up the lasso.
Well, now, like we said, just playing with Unity, they're going to be able to glimpse back Viver again. Stormsphere could think about running over this direction to get some Bloodstone charges, and yeah, we'll in fact do that. Nice little pickup there, as well as the Arcane Rune in the bottle. From bad to worse to terrible, Navi in trouble now. And it looks like, right now, Vega are comfortable trying to push down these towers and put even more pressure around the map.
Yeah, this is why you need to group up, because every single one of those pickoffs allows Vega Squadron to feel confident enough to hit your towers. You can't let them do that. And then on top of that, it's just like extra Bloodstone charges you're giving away for free, right? Phoenix dies, they lose a tier 2. Storm Spirit's up to 14 Bloodstone charges and is about to get his level 20. Oh, Navi.
Oh, no.
It looks like this is going to go to a game 3 unassuredly. Look how quick like G is just able to kill a core like Fat Rider.
Yeah. And I mean, he spotted him there in the creep wave. You expect to be safe, and it's something where you have to push out these waves. You can't have people not do it. But it just is emblematic of how desperate Navi is to make plays happen and how ill-equipped they are to make any plays. So, smoke now moving.
Smoke. I like this. Vega Squadron keeping up the pressure. Like the real you making a rotation down to bottom. Navi are not going to expect this at all.
Oh God, Pycat. They found him already. The Fusion Blade there as well. They pull him back in. They are slowed down by the Fire Spirits. A nice little situation, and maybe they can find a bash here. They're actually controlling G for the moment, but now they don't have quite enough. G's trying to chase this. Even kill a Fiver. The chase from Dendy. He's going to pop his BKB and be forced to run and hide. G will survive as Fiver also gets out. And maybe off to the side. They will finally retreat enough. Seneko, I think, is dead. Yeah, he doesn't have a TP. Goodbye, fair ogre.
Good attempt at some jukes, but Vega Squadron, it was a really cool play, right? They take this kill at top lane, and they show some heroes at top and mid, and then they make a 3-man smoke. They rotate those 3 heroes from top all the way down to bottom, and then they rotate their 2 cores onto the bottom shrine. So Navi, they think, you know, with this kill at top lane, okay, bottom lane is open, we can farm the jungle. But Vega Squadron immediately knew and countered that whole entire movement. Got a great fight, killed a troll. Troll is still trying to work on his BKB.
No, that's what I'm sort of looking at now too, is like the way that I see the next couple minutes going is just continued action like this, and maybe you could end up trying to make another play with Navi when the Aegis is down, which is going to be in just 10 seconds from now. But if Vega Squadron are allowed to just get the next Roshan, it's going to be quite tough. And yeah, I just don't know how you really go and contest. The BKB is there for Mag. That's probably like the best way, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you get BKB on... He almost got caught. Yeah. You get BKB on Mag and Troll, and you fight for Roshan number 2. That is your way back into this game for Navi. If that fails, then it's a high ground game, where you just play off of high ground defense, hope Vega Squadron make a mistake, and push to late game, where Troll is kind of one of the ultimate carries. Maybe he's the penultimate carry behind Spectre in a 5 versus 5. But he is dealing with some heroes that are very hard for him to lock down. Weaver and Storm Spirit, they play the backline game, you know. They just jump on the backline heroes, they ignore the main carry.
Oh, Seneko, no reveal. They do spot the real you, but they aren't going to find it as of yet. General Force Seppa Afterlife able to jump away from him. They pop the Lincolns over, so they don't have Lincolns on the Weaver, but I don't know if it ends up mattering. Now they've got this Phoenix. Dendy doesn't want to solo RP anybody, and Fiver does still have Supernova if they want to use it, and they might have to now to get away. The real you, though, just eviscerates General, and yeah, they just got to get out. It's, ugh, God.
Yeah, that sound is exactly how Navi's feeling about this game. They're just like, ugh, what do we do? Like they have to get aggressive. They have to push out some time, see if they can catch Vega Squadron by surprise. But there just doesn't really seem to be a reliable opening. Soon the Weaver's gonna have a heart, so you just had a hard time locking down this hero. Now even if you do lock it down, you might not be able to kill it because he has so much armor and so much HP. Next Roshan's coming up, though. Gotta keep optimistic if you're Navi. Smoke play for Roshan. Get the 5-man RP. Troll hits them all with Empower, and you've won.
The dream.
That's what you need. The dream. The ultimate dream is what you need.
And they don't have buyback. There we go. That's the play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that too.
Troll. He's going after him. They want to do it. Double force staff. They're backing out, but there is that Storm Spirit who has gone for the wraparound and now finds himself the Phoenix who dies to that Orchid burn. G is just doing whatever the hell he wants. Dendy, big bad and out of control here. It's actually a giant character model and won't quite get caught. He does still have RP and the Blink available, but can he actually do enough with just himself here? Pycat is there as well. They're going to be able to get another pull and another kill on the Sneko. 3 are dead, no buyback. Yep, that's about the long and short of it.
Yeah, Dendy's just holding on to this RP because he knows he can't just RP a Weaver.
Yeah.
First of all, he has so much HP, it's hard for them to kill him. Second of all, it's like they need something bigger. They need something better to be able to turn this game around. So he's kind of holding on to it, and they're losing, fights and then losing opportunities for kills, but he knows that it's all worth it if he can get the big play. But Vega Squadron aren't giving him the opportunity. Real U's just hitting the racks. Now they're going to be able to catch Fiber again. He dies every single time to G. As soon as he hears the zip, he just needs to pop Supernova, I think, because he just dies instantly to the Orchid combo.
Yeah, and like it would be fine too if you had another hero afterwards that could like stun. So imagine, he zips on the Phoenix and then Phoenix gets Supernova and then there's like a Hex or something from a Lion or a Shadow Shaman, but there's just nothing like that. And now you have the Lincoln Spiriton on Storm Spirit as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to blame it all on one hero because that's sort of, I don't think the way that Dota works, but in some ways, the support Phoenix, it was just, I guess, a really good fourth pick of Storm.
Yeah, I think the fourth pick and fifth pick of Stormweaver were right on the money. And I think the Train Protectors honestly proved to be like super obnoxious too. They just haven't been able to take any towers, so they don't get that big influx of gold that some of these heroes really needed, like the Force Staff on Bat Rider, or even just the earlier Blink Dagger. The Blink Dagger timing of Magnus would have been affected as well. These timings and just taking map control was really big, but Train Protector limited all of that.
Oh god, and now they found again this Phoenix. Gonna end up dropping Static Storm onto 3. They're rooted as well. They just can't do anything. Oh please, Dendy just running away, trying to get up to the high ground. We'll be able to make that escape for the moment. They can't even kill off Little Silent. And Pycat trying to run away. They do get the glimpse back. She is actually out of mana. I don't know if this is gonna end up mattering because Dendy is back home, no longer there. The kite and soon to be the kill. Bam! Out of there. Afterlife taking the dunk as well.
Died worse.
I think I've watched Piper die like 4 times without Supernova being used, and it's not really his fault. It's just that's his life against Storm Spirit with Orchid, without you having any sort of like Lotus Orbs or anything like that on your team. So that's going to be second Aegis for Vega Squadron. So now they can not only have Weaver being on the front lines hitting objectives, but then they also have the Storm Spirit who can kind of fearlessly dive the back line, knowing that he's got a second life to work on. I don't think there's a winning scenario for Navi against that if Vega Squadron set up correctly. Like if they don't group up, if the real U hits the Raxes and G makes the play for a pick, Navi are pretty much done.
I mean, let's be real. We've been saying that same thing, like for the past 20 minutes. This has been a rough-ass game for Navi. They are in struggle bucket land abound. And melee barracks starting to go down. G can just sit there. They have Lotus Orb as well on the Axe to help save him. So Axe, the defensive hero now, apparently. And General gonna get ran back in. He is gone. G just kind of wasting a little bit of mana here. It's down to half mana. Maybe an opportunity if they can somehow do it, but nope, they're just gonna back out.
Top barracks are under attack.
He has Aegis
Apparently not an opportunity, man. Then he's just like, he's like, I'm not gonna say he's like paralyzed or anything like that, because honestly, there really haven't been any good opportunities for an RFP. But they've got to make some sort of smoke play. He's got to catch the back line. I think he's got to skewer Storm Spirit into the Weaver because they're going to be so separated. And those are the 2 heroes you have to lock down. While someone else like Bat Rider stops the counter initiation of the Axe. They pop their BKBs, the Troll gets some lucky bashes, and blows up both the Storm and the Weaver.
Okay,
or they get a bash here.
Nicely done. Oh my god, but the Static Storm is down. Afterlife actually dropping really quickly here. The Overgrowth, is it going to be good enough? They drop the RP onto 2. The damage It's going to be there. They're able to pull down one, pull down two, but can they kill off another? G is back up again in a second with that Aegis respawning, and they don't hit the badge. No way to control him, and well, Phoenix is going to be kept alive for the moment. They do jump in yet again, but not quite enough. The blink on Troll working to perfection, but not enough, and they still don't get off the Supernova, no matter how hard they try. Maybe they can kill off G here, though. The Troll ulti is there, but they do too much damage onto him nonetheless, and they lose the Troll. He has to buy back. Hard game, but still they killed off G.
You know what I think Viper needed to do? He needed to pop Supernova to try and catch the timing as the Storm Spirit Aegis comes back. Like, he needed something crazy like that because they could only get one hit from the Troll before the Storm Spirit zips away. So unless he gets a first hit bash, they've got nothing.
Oh, and again, they don't get it for the real you. On top of everything else, there's a solar crest there that keeps on being placed onto him. And now Dendy dove on from far away, as is going to be a dieback for the Troll, who is going to fall in Piper. Well, he finally got it, but I don't know. All right, G is going to just take that one. That's fine. We take those. GG called, and we're going to a game number 3.
Oh, man. That was one hell of a game for Vega Squadron. I would say that they played the laning phase really